Nuestros principales objetivos como corporación son promover el uso del espacio subterráneo en Chile, generar encuentros de discusión en torno a esta materia y promover el estado del arte en el diseño y construcción de túneles. Y en ese sentido, este seminario dedicado a los túneles submarinos no podría estar más alineado a esos objetivos de CTES. Así que a nombre de la corporación le quiero dar las gracias y el agradecimiento a la Norwegian Tunneling Network y también a la Embajada de Noruega, a través de su embajador que nos acompaña hoy día, por organizar este evento junto con CTES, en un tema que, por la geografía que tiene Chile, sobre todo en el sur, tiene un gran potencial de desarrollo. A varios de acá nos ha tocado probablemente estar en alguna discusión relacionada con un túnel submarino en Chile, han habido varias. Y en general lo que ronda ahí es el escepticismo, ¿no? Es difícil avanzar, está esta creencia de que es quizás demasiado complejo, demasiado costoso, demasiado riesgoso, y por lo tanto yo creo que un gran objetivo que podríamos darle a este seminario es tratar de desbloquear un poco esos temores, darnos cuenta que quizás no es tan riesgoso, no es tanto más costoso que un túnel normal, y por lo tanto, para el futuro, cuando tengamos que evaluar conectividades a través de un cuerpo de agua, pongamos la opción de ferry, pongamos la opción de los puentes como lo hacemos, pero también consideremos la opción de un túnel submarino. Noruega lleva más de 40 años haciendo este tipo de proyectos, son el país que tiene más túnel submarino en el mundo, tienen el túnel submarino más largo, el más profundo y otros récord de ese tipo, así que difícilmente podríamos haber encontrado gente más adecuada para que nos enseñen de este tema, como son los expertos noruegos que nos acompañan hoy día. Y antes de partir con las presentaciones técnicas, me gustaría dar la palabra al embajador de Noruega, señor Per Ander Nilsen, que nos dará algunas palabras de bienvenida.
Bueno, muchas gracias y buenos días. ¿Cómo están? Bien, bien. Bueno, soy Per Nilsen, soy el embajador de Noruega. Yo creo que logré saludar a algunos de ustedes, pero no todos, pero entiendo que aquí realmente hay una buena representación del sector de infraestructura, minería, geología y más. Entonces, me alegro mucho ver que todos hayan llegado. Yo acabo de pasar un par de días con este tremendo equipo en Punta Arenas y he podido escuchar un poco de qué se trata profundamente el proyecto y ver ahora la representación acá para mí no es una sorpresa porque es realmente súper interesante lo que se va a presentar hoy. Y yo creo que a ustedes también lo va a gustar. Bueno, yo quería decir que es un placer para mí abrir este pequeño seminario. Soy recién llegado al país, llegué el año pasado en el mes de septiembre y en diciembre presenté mis cartas credenciales al presidente. Y ser embajador de Noruega en Chile es realmente un trabajo muy gratificante. Cada día estoy descubriendo nuevas cosas entre Chile y Noruega, todo lo que nos une. Y muchas de estas cosas tratan del tema de hoy. Bueno, ahora llegar desde Punta Arenas, obviamente tenemos una historia polar en el Antártico, pero también una historia marítima que es súper importante en el desarrollo de nuestros países, la importancia del transporte marítimo. También el país, bueno, ustedes tienen un país súper largo, pero Noruega también es largo en escala europea. Yo creo que nosotros entendemos bien qué significa vivir en un país con largas distancias y también vivir en un país donde queremos que la gente viva en todo el país, desde el norte hacia el sur. Esto obviamente representa algunos retos, pero también soluciones. La geografía con fiordos, montañas, mar, lagos, todo esto es algo que nosotros también tenemos en Noruega y la geología. Entonces hay realmente un montón de cosas y esto nos lleva al tema de hoy, porque hace algunos años Chile invitó a Noruega para ser socio de un proyecto que nosotros llamamos un proyecto de oportunidad de alto potencial. Un acercamiento entre el sector de la construcción de túneles en Noruega y los actores claves en Chile. Y ustedes representan estos actores y por eso estamos acá. Es un proyecto único en el mundo. Noruega no tiene este tipo de proyecto con otros países y lo van a escuchar más de este proyecto, pero yo solo quiero decir que este proyecto para nosotros significa que a todos niveles en Noruega, del gobierno, ministerios, embajada, nuestra agencia de promoción de inversiones en el extranjero, Innovation Norway, todos estamos atrás de esa iniciativa. Y hay que aprovechar estos años para tener un acercamiento y compartir experiencias en la construcción de túneles. Yo no voy a hablar de la construcción de túneles porque este tremendo equipo va a hablar de eso, pero me gustaría decir una cosa, y es que Noruega tiene mucha experiencia tanto en túneles sobre el agua como bajo el agua, y compartir experiencias es un privilegio para nosotros, y yo creo que podemos hablar de ejemplos que muestran que sí se puede construir túneles rentables, seguros y sostenibles en todos los lugares, y es un poco el corazón del tema de hoy. Antes de terminar, también quisiera mencionar una cosa que siempre es importante para nosotros y para la embajada en contacto con el sector privado, con empresas. Y es decir, que en Noruega tenemos una ley de transparencia que ahora tiene 2-3 años en vigor. Es una ley que yo normalmente suelo decir que es una ley, pero también es un sello de responsabilidad, de predictibilidad, que significa entrar en cooperación con actores noruegas. Esta ley aplica a todas las empresas noruegas y todos sus socios. La empresa madre, pero también más bajo en la cadena de valor, todos los que ofrecen servicios en un proyecto también van a estar cubiertos de esa ley. Es una ley que promueve realmente transparencia, promueve condiciones buenas de trabajo, decentes, derechos humanos. Entonces es un paquete de predictibilidad y responsabilidad que yo creo que es un sello. Sé que otros países tienen lo mismo, pero también Noruega tiene esto. Hablando de proyectos grandes de infraestructura, yo creo que trabajar en una manera transparente bajo las costas, los costes, ¿no? También hay beneficios en una ley de esta naturaleza. Bueno, ya hablé quizás demasiado. Otra vez, un gusto conocerlos. Espero que les vayan a gustar las presentaciones de hoy, y nada más que dejar entonces la palabra en el equipo de la Red Noruega de la Construcción de Túneles. Bueno, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, embajador. Vamos a partir entonces con las presentaciones técnicas. Señor, por favor, Arild Sovik, director de la Norwegian Tunneling Network. Él va a hacer la primera presentación.
Thank you very much, Matthias. First of all, I would like to thank you to the ambassador, and not at least the big effort the embassy is doing together with this initiative, this export program we have in Norway. I would also like to thank you to CTS for the cooperation, the very good cooperation we have with them. This is the second seminar we have with CTES, and I'm really impressed how you are marketing this, but also all the technical and making this very easy for us when we are coming to Norway. I would also like to thank every partner. Yeah. As Matthias said, I am the director of Norwegian Tunneling Network, but I'm also a project manager for Innovation Norway, that is a governmental institution. I also have a background, and this background is from tunneling in Norway. So I'm the former national tunnel manager in the road authorities in Norway. So I have been responsible for developing and managing the road tunnels in Norway. So that means the development of guidelines, how we are building tunnels, how we are operating, but also the management, including safety issues and safety approvals, and so on. I also have a background from the contractor industry. So I've been a former director for research and development in a large contractor company in Norway. But I also have a broad experience in different positions from the Norwegian Public Road Administration. I'm a former Norwegian representative in the Road Tunnel Safety Committee in the European Union. And this means that I pretty much know everything about all the discussions in Norway regarding safety. So if you have any concerns about safety in tunnels, please ask. And I've also been part of different kind of committees in the International Tunneling Association, but also the formal representative in PIARC, that is the World Road Associations. First of all, Norwegian Tunneling Network facilitates and coordinates practical activities to exchange knowledge and experience, as well as promote the export of products, services, systems, and equipment to the international tunneling and mining market. And we have members representing key industry stakeholders and organizations like public and private clients, universities and research organizations, advisory and consultancy companies, contractors, product and service supplier. So this means that we have the entire industry represented in the Norwegian Tunneling Network. So we are working together to promote these things. Our goal is to promote cost-effective tunneling, safe tunneling, but also sustainable tunneling, and using knowledge and very long experience from Norway, adjusted for the specific market and culture. We know we have to adjust, and this is a very big issue when we are entering new markets. We work in close cooperation with the Norwegian public bodies and the government. Innovation Norway, that is a governmental institution, is the official trade representative abroad and aim to assist Norwegian businesses to grow and find new markets. We have formed a new export program in Norway called High Potential Opportunity Programs. So they last for 5 to 6 years. So that means that we are not having just an initiative for one visit, but we are here to stay. And the goal is to have a permanent presence in that market. We are using these kind of programs. So this means that this is a serious program, and we have the funding from the government on this. So why Chile? Like Norway, we have the same conditions. We have the Arctic conditions due to the closeness to the North Pole, and you in the south have the Antarctic conditions due to the South Pole. So we are kind of on each end of the world, but we have the similar conditions. We have a fjord and mountainous landscape with harsh winter condition. We have a need for a low-cost, effective, reliable, available, maintainable, and safe infrastructure is needed. But this gives a solid foundation for sharing knowledge between nations because we have the same challenges. So if we look at Chile, this is south of Portemont. We had a field trip there. And we look at these pictures from Norway. Well, it could be in Chile. And we have been diving into this market for 2-3 years now. We have been talking with the Ministry of Public Works. We have been talking with experts. We have been talking with stakeholders and so on. What are the opportunities for cooperation? And then we have found some interesting places. This is south of Portemont. Mario will say a little bit more about this, our thoughts about this project. We have something came up just recently, an opportunity maybe in Jebla, Coral, that is close to Valdivia. And then we have the Magellan Strait. That is also very interesting. And this is something the governor in this region have promoted as maybe a good idea to have a subsea tunnel. And I totally agree on that. So this means that we have already had some visits. We have been down to the Magellan Strait, but we also looked at the region south of Portemont to kind of know something more about the conditions in this area. So this means that we have been going on for a few years now and would like to continue this dialogue by showing this, having this seminar where we are explaining the Norwegian tunneling, but also we will invite public bodies, stakeholders to Norway to have a look for themselves. So we can share experience through this kind of collaborations. So Norway is kind of the land of long tunnels. So if you look at Europe, Norway have a significant higher representative of long tunnels compared to nations that is natural to compare with. So if we look at this, Switzerland have 14 long tunnels, more than 4 kilometers. Italy have 20, and we have more than 64. I think we probably is closer to 70 right now, because we are constructing 50 tunnels at any given time in Norway. At least one of them are subsea tunnels. So that is the amount of the use of tunnels, and this means that we have recent experience in this. So one example of that is the Rogfast tunnel that is under construction, that will be 26.5 kilometers long, and also the deepest in the world by 390 meters below sea level. And this is an impressive construction site, and it's possible to visit this one as well. And we have the former records also. This is the Lærdal tunnel that is 24 kilometers long, was built a few years ago. Our philosophy are our strength. We have a long history of developing cost-efficient infrastructure in a challenging, demanding nature with a scattered population. In Norway, we would like people to live on every island. We would like them to be more or less all over Norway. This means that we have to connect them with infrastructure. And very often, we have to use bridges, tunnels, and road network. So we have been, like this project, for more than 100 years ago. We connected Bergen and Oslo with a rail network, and this started in 1883. and we built this rail infrastructure with a lot of tunnels, back then with other more primitive methods for tunneling. Today, as part of the Rogfast project, is a part of this ferry-free connection between Kristiansand and Trondheim, this direction, and this is ongoing projects. So there is a lot of projects on that stretch. So we have experience with the world's largest, longest, deepest, and most complex projects, and we plan to break all records in the coming years. We are also well known to have standards and solutions to fit the purpose. So in this case, we have this bridge that is entering tunnels on each side. And if you see this roundabout just below here, we have one roundabout in the mountain for each side of this project. The reason I'm mentioning this project is my father was the project manager for this one. But here is a very typical high traffic solution in cities. And this is a solution we made to avoid rockfall on cars waiting for a ferry in Norway. So this means that they are waiting for the ferry inside the tunnel. So cost-effective design. I would say it's traffic density, characteristic of the tunnel, and systematic evaluation of RAMS criteria and risk decide the design of a tunnel. And we have the requirements that ensure the right level of investment. This means that if we have a very low traffic, we know exactly how to build this. And if we have high traffic, we know how to build this. And this we have tested for, well, we have been using for many years. It's important to be able to invest in a cost-efficient road network suited for both city and rural areas that balance the investment on open road and tunnels, considering traffic safety and other risks in a systematic way. So for instance, a tunnel is the safest place you find in Norway. The open road network are more challenged because of the winter condition and other conditions. And the reason I say this is that there are, of course, some concerns. And as you see here I'm interviewed on national television regarding one of these fires. And of course, there is a concern in the public around fires. And we are using that to improve our guidelines and not make the same mistakes we have done with the design in some of these. So one example of concern is that we have 2 fires in tunnels per month in Norway. But 40% of these fires are in 4% of the tunnels. And that is in tunnels with incline in or before the tunnel. So this means that if you have a incline, you raise the risk for these kind of things. This means that you also have to implement this as part of the requirements. So when you are building a tunnel with incline, or it's in an area with steep hills and so on, then you have to do something about it. What I will say about fires in Norway, we had 2 tunnel fires a month, but still we have no death in tunnels because of fires. So still, traffic accidents is the biggest risk, and traffic accidents outside the tunnel. So still, the tunnels are the safest place. So we are using these. We are making reports. We have a investigation board, an accident investigation board, that is looking into this, and then we are developing the guidelines. So this means if we build a tunnel in Chile, we will take care of all the risks and so on by using these guidelines. Steep climbs before or in tunnel pose an increased risk of technical problems in large vehicles and are the main cause of fires in those tunnels. High speed when driving into tunnel can increase risk. Technical problems may arise from vehicle with weaknesses or lack of knowledge and experience on the driver's part. So if we have foreign drivers coming into Norway, never driven in a tunnel before, that might increase the risk. So this is the reason we have certain criteria in the European Union, but also in the legislation in Norway. And this have all the nations in Europe. Norway is not only the land of long tunnels, but it's also a land of fjords and subsea tunnels. So the last 40 years, we have built 40 subsea tunnels. So on average, that's one per year. And we find them all the way around the coast. Connecting regions. Road, ferry connections, bridges, and tunnels are all alternatives. So this means that we need to investigate all these alternatives. Sometimes we choose a subsea tunnel, sometimes we choose a bridge, and sometimes we will continue to have a ferry. By combining knowledge and experience from the oil and gas sector with known and new bridge and tunnel technologies, we know that today we can technically cross any of the Norwegian fjords anywhere. This gives better predictability and accessibility, is good for all transport and improves the framework conditions for business and export-oriented activities in the regions. It also gives reduced travel time to do these kind of projects between cities, local communities, and regions. But this can also improve house and work markets. So that means you can maybe live somewhere else to work in that and that city. But there might also be other good reasons for choosing the shortest route. So we have many examples of that kind of investigations also in Norway. So connecting, why choose ferry, bridge, or tunnel connection? We have to see if it's feasible. Is it feasible to build a tunnel? Is it feasible to build a bridge? If it's a too long stretch, a bridge is very often not recommended because that will be very costly. Future traffic prognosis will also determine this, future development of society, but also cost on each alternative. But the most important part is that we are doing this exercise to find out which are the best alternative. Replacing in this Rogfast project I mentioned, that is 26.5, we are replacing 2 subsea tunnels and 2 ferry connections to connect a very important stretch between Bergen and Stavanger, 2 of the large cities in Norway. But we also include a connection up to this island to connect that community as well. In this project, this is a very expensive project because it has a 4-hour travel time if we divert the traffic, and this means that we need to have some kind of a solution where we can divert the traffic inside the tunnel. And suddenly we have a double tube tunnel with a lot of extra equipment and so on to do this. So this is an example of a high traffic solution, I would say. And then we have these kind of projects like Norwegian, located on the west coast of Norway, connecting small communities to mainland. This is a low traffic road network. The project is a local mainland connecting and is kind of a ferry replacement. This is financed by the road district, by the district and toll loan on this. And when we are looking into these projects, we also take the future cost of the ferry connection, and we also put this in as part of it. Cost limit in this case for 3 subsea tunnels and a lot of other things is $600 million. highly relevant example for low traffic road networks in Chile. So here you see the details in this project. So there are 3 subsea tunnels, but also a lot of bridges and so on. Kind of something we can think about when Mario is telling about the south of Puerto Montt. But how far can we go? This is the most dangerous stretches in Norway when it comes to ship traffic. And we have decided to build the first full-scale tunnel for ships to ensure safe passage. So this means that we will build a tunnel in this area to connect without going to this hazardous area. And this will be 1.7 kilometers long, 50 meters high, and 36 meters wide, and give passage to vessels up to the size of the coastal lines like Hurtigruten. So there are no limitations for what you can use a tunnel. And this is not a subsea tunnel, but it's a sea tunnel. I will say a little bit about planning and construction infrastructure, an overview of the project model and principle of ensuring a proper process. We have learned through the years that we need to have some kind of a quality check by third parties along the process. So by going from an idea, we are going into a concept phase, then it's quality checked, and then we have a pre-project, and then we have a quality check before implementation. All this will be a part of a 10-year plan in Norway that includes not only road, but rail, aviation, and also coastal lines and so on. And this is very important because we are looking everything together and give priority on this. So for instance, a concept study, what triggers the needs? We have to say something about that. Target for the project, measures and how the society will gain from it, overall requirements for the project and measures, a feasibility study of the alternatives, and development and evaluation of concept and costs, and also recommendations from the project itself. And this is going in and is evaluated from third-party experts. And so on and so on. There is a lot of topics that you need to be very much aware of when you are entering these kind of projects.